Hello, Bruce. Paul here. Overall, this boat looks really nice. The plank seams are nice and tight. They're pretty fair. There's a little bit of a difference in height between this plank seam and this one, we see a lot worse than this. We're not sure that the stain is the right color. Chris-Craft pretty much used one stain. Number 570, Interlux number 573. It was Chris-Craft red mahogany, and then they used a walnut up here. So we're gonna have to research the stain, because the other thing is that we don't see a lot of barrel backs. So matter of fact, this would be our first barrel back. We don't even look at a lot of barrel backs, but we do know that like when you apply the walnut stain, you actually apply your red stain first, or you get a green tinge through your, and then you apply your walnut stain on top of your Chris-Craft red. Otherwise, you get a green look to this in the sunlight. I don't know if you can see this, but you see these, yeah, I can see them on my screen. So you see these swirls right here? That's called crazing. That comes from, the varnish shrinking, and those are all little microscopic. Well, now they're not microscopic. You can see them with the naked eye, but those are cracks in the varnish. And so that's like the very first stage of failure on the varnish. So maintenance coats could be done to the decks, but there's a chance that that's going to be a throwaway cost because the varnish has already started to fail. So that's kind of a bummer. The right answer up here would be a strip and refinish of the decks, but that's a very expensive answer too. I'll show you that when I do your estimate. So that would be a big ticket item. It looks like maintenance coats on the sides, and I would, even if we determined the stain was the wrong stain, which I'm gonna guess that it's probably right. Everything else seems to be really right on this boat. But even if it was the wrong stuff, I'm not sure I would do a strip and refinish on the sides. The sides look good. I don't see the crazing on the sides that I see up here on the decks. You can look that term up. It's a painter's term, and it is a common term that painters use. Looks like your gold leaf guy had gold leaf on his fingers and got up here on the deck. That's interesting. And of course, this you might want to change the name and do a strip and refinish on the transom. It definitely needs some work on the gold leaf on the transom. Looks like the gold leaf was on the surface as maybe, or the varnish has already failed over the top of this on the transom. I don't have the best light back here. We're in the storage area where we just brought it into our shop. So this is where we store our boats that are for sale or that we're in preparation to working on or being waiting to be worked on. You do see a little crazing back here on the side back here. The light is showing me some crazing there. And of course there's usually less crazing on the sides because your sides are at an inverse angle to the sun. But of course on the barrel back, when you get towards the back, the sun beating straight down will beat down on the sides back here, whereas the sides up here are shaded. I see we've got a little bit of upholstery work to do. Matching that green may be difficult. So, but we'll see what we can do about matching the green, because it doesn't look like you need anything major on the seat backs. I guess the cushions are probably in the truck still. or maybe they're under the engine hatch. I hope not, because there was oil in there. The gauges were probably the Blueface gauges. So yeah, they're definitely they're definitely in need of restoration. We use Koshin Instruments exclusively up in Wisconsin, and then we make these horn buttons. We CNC them, so we can make it. That's not a big deal. A new horn button's really cheap. The chrome is pitted. It's not terrible, but and this pitting will polish out, sort of. I mean, all of the chrome is porous, and the base metal is what's actually corroding, and it comes out through the pores. And so we can get the green corrosion that is accumulated on the outside. We can get that off, but it leaves a pore. It leaves a pit. So you're not really going to get rid of the pit. You're just it will be less noticeable. Or of course we can have it all re-chromed. And we'll give you a number for that as well. We normally, we didn't bring a strap with us, but we normally don't hook the hook directly to your lifting ring. And the reason is that the base metal in the lifting ring is soft, way softer than the chrome. And so if we deform the base metal with the hook, then the chrome will peel off right there and peel off prematurely. So we like to put a lifting strap in. It's about 3 foot long, rated for the weight of the boat. And so the hook is not directly on the lifting eye is what we try to do. Hey, Charlie, bring that over here. There's a lifting strap on that, or just take the lifting strap off. And so this is my grandson Charlie, and he's riding. I have 2 new hips, and I was riding this for about a year before I got my hips. But here's an example of the lifting strap that we normally use. We would put this through the lifting eye up here, and which puts your hook about here. So we would go with a little bit longer lifting strap for you, so that our hook is out here, and we don't take a chance on the hook hitting the wood as you bounce down the highway. I would. As far as your stainless goes, I have a double-sided. I have a positive and negative die that we can put over this, and then we press it, and we can take most of the deformation out of it, and then we polish it up. And we have about a 3-day process on this size of boat to do the polishing and take these dents out and so forth. They won't be completely out, but they will be substantially better. I guess you probably want to change from Florida numbers to North Carolina numbers. That's an assumption. And we have a little dock rash right there. Again, we'll have to make a decision as to whether or not you want to do a strip and refinish on the sides, or whether you want to do maintenance coats on the sides. This right here is looks like dock rash. I don't know if you can see that in the video, but there seems to be dock rash right here, but it's not. I'll tell you what it is. There was another spot with the same kind of stuff right here. If you can see, follow right above my finger. That's actually plastic from your loading guides. So we should extend your loading guides enough, and the plastic leaves a deposit. So we should extend your loading guides enough that even when you're launching, your loading guide would be taller than your rub rail. So the loading guides would need to be a foot or 2 taller. We can take your boat to the ramp, and we can determine just how much farther up the loading guides should go, and because it's leaving a deposit on your wood. That can be buffed out, but it is leaving a deposit. Bottom paint looks good. It looked like from the pictures you had a 5200 bottom. So that's awesome. Actually, I would guess that you've got an epoxy bottom instead of a 5200 bottom. On your engine, there's what's called a drive saver, a little orange disc, and that is done to help align the engine or compensate for misalignment. They only compensate for so much misalignment. If your misalignment is beyond that, then, just a second, I'll get up here. If your misalignment is beyond what this can compensate for, then that puts a lot of stress. I'm not going to be able to get the light on, but well, you can see the disc down there. So it compensates for a minor misalignment. But if the alignment is more major than that can compensate for, it beats the crap out of your tail shaft bearing, and this, one of the first indications is that your seal goes. So we may have a bearing to replace in the output shaft of your transmission, which of course runs in engine oil, that would be, and we've got a lot of engine oil in the builds right now. So we've got, obviously we're gonna have to do a little repair on that. You have a Chris-Craft M engine, M series, it's an MB. Yeah, we got a lot of oil and a lot of oil residue to clean out. So those are just some first impressions, and we will put some prices together as to with some options as to what you may want to do. And once you see the options, you may have some options you don't want to do. So I will put your price together on all this in the coming, probably by the end of next week we'll have it, and then we can decide what to do to proceed. So thank you very much for trusting us with this beautiful vessel, and we'll be talking to you more soon.